Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal way back from the beginning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we've been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas in your ears, you.
Awesome. The Bears.
What is going on, people? Welcome back to episode 295 of 79th Halas, man. It's been, I want to say, about a month and a half since the last time we did a pod. So shout out to all y'all. If you are listening to this on Wednesday, that means you are a loyal Patreon subscriber, and we appreciate you. If you are listening to this or watching this on Friday, you subscribe so you can get these a couple of days earlier. The link to that is in the description box. Or if you're lazy, you can scan the QR code right here on the screen, and it'll take you to all of the different tiers of the Barber's Chair Patreon. I've been uploading a lot of stuff on the I'm Not Gonna Hold You stuff and everything like that. But yeah, so you can subscribe to the $5 79th Halas tier if you just want this, or if you want everything, the $10 Barber's Chair access feed. And while we're at it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Scott's World of Sports. We talk everything from the NFL to the NBA to European football. Umbrella. So press the subscribe button right here or scan the QR code right here on the screen. I'm making it easy for y'all, multiple options. So yeah, man. But anyway, episode 295. You guys, Scott and Flows, you know to follow us at Barchair Scott, at Flows in the league. Even though I really don't tweet anymore. Yesterday, I tweeted. Yes, I tweeted a little bit during PSG Bayern, which the first half was very entertaining. The second half was defensive haram, as I have said on multiple tweets yesterday. But anyway, still follow me regardless, even though I'm not on that shit app. I'm so glad I've missed the Klay Thompson Meg Thee Stallion conversation. I cannot tell you how happy I am. And even when I go on there, I just check my list. I haven't seen my main timeline in like a month and a half. So it's amazing. Anyway, how you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah, it's I feel like I haven't podcasted with you and
it's been a month and a half since the last episode.
It's been a month, yeah. I mean, baby's getting bigger in the womb, so been just busy. I had mass today at school. Long, busy time for young Joe Lewis, but I'm feeling good. Ready to chat about some interesting things with the Bears, specifically how we're thinking.
Shout out to everybody who liked all of our draft graphic breakdowns. That was all because of this man right here. I did not watch the draft, not 1 second. Every draft pick that I knew happened came to my phone. I was watching the NBA playoffs. So I want to start this episode by just giving our brief overall draft feelings, and then we'll get into multiple things. Like the name of this episode is called "Do You Trust Ben Johnson?" Because that's really what this comes down to. You know, should we trust Ben and just shut the fuck up? We gonna learn about that. You know, then we're gonna actually grade the class. Joe gave some grades just based on the player's ability. Ability. Not like, oh, the Bears don't need this. Just on a player-by-player basis. And then we're going to ask the grand question. Are the Bears better than they were on Sunday, January 18th, which is the day that they played the Rams? So let's just start overall with our brief draft feelings. I'm going to let you go first because I got a whole last 20-minute video on my YouTube page that you can check out right now about my overall feelings. So I will give you the floor first.
It's a very interesting draft. I will say that. My overall feelings is I didn't like it. But the reason I say it's interesting and complicated or a paradox is because the players drafted were good. I think there's only one player on here that I was like, you got him too early. And that would be Xavier Thomas out of LSU. The wide receiver, fast as shit. But he probably should have been like a 6th, 7th round pick. I just think he was too high for his position. But when I look at the board itself, and we're going, top to bottom. So we're talking about Daniel Thieneman, Logan Jones, Sam Roche, Xavier Thomas.
I called him Thieneman for an entire Instagram reel, and then I turned on Hogan Johns and heard Johns call him Thieneman. I was like, well, I'm not doing that again.
So Dylan Thieneman, Logan Jones, Sam Roush, Xavier Thomas, Malik Muhammad, Keyshawn Elliott, and Jordan Vanderberg. When I look at them in totality of just them as players, I see Dylan. You said Thieneman?
Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman.
He is a phenomenal player. This was an A+ for me. Safeties and their value can vary, but man, in that position, I think all of that true tier 1 defensive line talent was gone at that point, and you have lost both your safeties. You got Kobe Bryant but you need that other safety. And for me, that was a home run. Great player. I was thoroughly excited with him being drafted. Great football IQ, great recognition, discipline as hell. He's going to be plug and play, obviously immediate start. Next at the center, Logan Jones, especially after have Drew Dalman gone, and they brought in other people to compete. But, I mean, Drew Dalman was amongst the best centers in the league. You lose him. Bringing in someone like Logan Jones, I'm not mad at it. I think it was Mel Kiper who said like this was his number 1 center in the draft. So I'm not mad at that either. I think that's good. I think I get that like a B+ or something. Next up, you're going Sam Roush, and this is where I go, what the fuck are we doing? Now, as a player, this is what you're going to hear from me repeatedly. As a player, Roush is good. It's a very good player. He is definitely a traditional Y tight end. The XYZ designation on the field. He's a traditional Y, meaning he's going to block first, and then he's going to get open. I think he's good at running his routes. He's nothing crazy, but he's strong. He's tough. Blocking, he's the best blocker on the team already. That's like how good I put his blocking skills. But you didn't need him. You got Cole Kmet. You got one of the best, if not the best, rookie tight end last year. What do you need him for? Like, that's the main point. Like, yes, he's a good player. I don't even think he was best player available. So it's like
Bears fans were getting horny over 13 personnel. Oh, we get to run 3 tight ends out there. A lot of them just learned what that was a week ago.
Yeah. Cool, but you didn't need him. And the reason I say that is because obviously best player available is a good strategy when it's lined up with team need. If I have a safety, if I have a glaring need at defensive line, but everything else is handled, you have great safeties, great DBs in general, linebackers, skill players, quarterback, offensive linemen. If I then draft a safety and I have, because it's the best player available, but I have 2 all-pro safeties back there, you're going to say that's stupid as shit because you don't need it, regardless if he's the best player available. That's why nobody can really hold on to best player available as a philosophy. You're going to do a best player available with team need. Your glaring weakness was your defensive line. The Bears finished with 35 sacks last year, which is 7th worst in the league. And I think next to them was like the Chiefs, the Bengals, Cowboys, Patriots. And we saw what the lack of pressure did.
And the Jets.
When the Jets. We saw
the Jets was the bad interceptions. I got to admit.
They had we saw what their coach was a former DB. Funny. But you saw what the lack of pressure did to the Patriots. And then the Bears' pressure rate, 29th in the league, 28%. It's near the bottom. The only standout we had was Montez Sweat. He literally had like 50-something tackles, 10 sacks, 13-something TFLs. They had a good year. Next up is fucking Javon Dexter. 6 sacks. Struggling on the line. And it's bad. The Bears' defensive line was one of the worst in the NFL. They struggled against the run and against the pass. And bottom 10 in sacks, QB hits, yards per carry allowed, yards per game allowed. It was truly the weakest link on the team. So what are you doing? Now, I'm not expecting, most fans to be like, oh, trade up. It's the time and the place. I'm not tripping that he didn't. But your glaring need was defensive line. And so you get a tight end. I'm confused. The issue is Sam Roush is a good player. You move next to Xavier Thomas again. Picking way too early. You do not need him. And you especially don't need to take him that early in the draft, which was like, I want to say round 3. He is a 5, 6, or 7. You know what I mean? I probably lean towards 6 or 7. Then, so after those two sort of confusing head scratchers, you get Malik Muhammad, he is not the ball hawk that you probably want at the corner, but he's very good in coverage. I've saw him 2 straight years, or in one calendar year, you also lost to the Buckeyes twice, Texas. Don't forget that you lost to the Buckeyes 28-14. Then you lost the season opener last year. That's beside the point. During that, Malik Muhammad had to guard the best receiver in college football, in Jeremiah Smith. Did a really good job. Really good job. And so because I've seen him, directly in person, I have had a chance to digest his game and say, oh, he's good. He can really play. So I really liked him. I thought he was a good pick. I think he will get a chance to be that to compete for that number 2, because the number 2 is just sort of up in the air at the moment. Next, moving on to Keyshawn Elliott. Good player, good depth. He's just a really solid player. I'm assuming he'll get reps on special teams. I wouldn't be surprised if midseason he got rotational reps at linebacker. The next one is the project pick. The last pick, Jordan Vandenberg out of Georgia Tech. I think he went to Penn State before that. He is the project pick. He is a ridiculous athlete. But his production has never been where you needed him to be. But there have been stories of players who were so-so in college, great in NFL. This is not me saying he will. But if the 7th round pick, I think that's the best way to go. It's a good draft. It's just not what you needed. If I had it my way based on where I saw Thieneman and Logan Jones would probably stay where they were, first round, second round. And then those next 2 picks are going to be dedicated to defensive line. I would probably look for 2 interior rushers rather than going to the edge. And then I'd probably keep the draft the same. I'd get Malik Muhammad, Keyshawn Elliott, and then I'd get Jordan Vandenberg. So probably be, instead of 2 interiors, it'd be interior and the edge. Outside of that, which again, that is a glaring hole, I thought the draft was fine. It's a B. But I do think I don't see how someone who understands what it means as a GM and having watched his team for so long, haven't seen that line struggle, defensive line, why you don't go and get one. But those are my initial takes.
I definitely said brief draft feelings. And you gave the rankings that we were going to go over later. But whatever, we'll go over them again. But my overall draft feeling, what did Roman Reigns say? I'm not feeling it. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not a fan of drafting best player available unless this best player available is just somebody who you just can't pass up. Right. As much as I like Dylan Thieneman and I like the pick, I don't qualify him as a just can't miss player. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm in with that. I think the defense, I've been saying this since all of last season. You need a defensive line. And I know the Bears know this. I know Ryan Poles knows this. I know Ben Johnson knows this. They're not stupid. But the problem here is that Ryan Poles spent all this money last year on Grady Jarrett, on Adio, drafting Shamar Turner. That is pretty much, how, you'll be like, what am I supposed to do with this? And Black Brothers be like, make it work. That's really what I think that the Ryan Poles are saying. Make it work. That we're going to put all our resources into the offense. I spent the money on the defense, and it's going to have to work. I think it's a terrible plan. And I think, honestly, it's going to fall flat on our faces. And we're going to be sitting here at the end of next season, and we're going to be like, why didn't this season go the way we wanted to? Because you can't get to the quarterback. I don't care how good the secondary is. Everybody says, oh, the Bears might have the best secondary in football this year. Maybe. But guess what? It don't matter if you can't get to the quarterback. Your secondary is only as good as your front seven. And honestly, I have questions about the linebacking core. I like the Devin Bush signing, but he had one good year. Are we 100% sure that he's going to be any better than Tremaine Evans? I can't say that with 100% certainty. We don't know when TJ Edwards is coming back. And if he does come back, beginning of season, maybe first quarter of the season, he's not going to be what he was. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to rely on DeMarco Jackson, and then you brought Sanborn back. It's a terrible plan to me. All love to Tez. Like I said in my video, Tez had a really good season. But if you could ever have a quiet 10-sack, 50-tackle season, he had that last year. The fact that you said Jervon Dexter had 6 sacks, I had no idea because it didn't feel like he did. Grady Jarrett, when he was playing, because he was hurt a good amount of the year last year, he wasn't doing shit either. So I think that Ben Johnson thinks that, the main reason that the Bears didn't get to the NFC Championship game last year was because the offense was inconsistent. That was one of the reasons, for sure. It's not the main reason. I'm not going to let the great performance that the defense put in that game against the Rams act like they were this good unit. They weren't. That was an anomaly. And that's probably why it made that loss so painful to deal with, because of how good the defense actually played, which they never played like that. The Bears had a lot of turnovers last year, won a lot of one-score games, came back, had the most fourth-quarter comebacks. If you think that shit is going to happen again this year, you're crazy. And that's nothing to do with the Bears. Look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs won a lot of one-score games the last season.
Lost all of them
and lost all of them last season. And I don't want to hear the Patrick Mahomes hurt shit because they were eliminated before Pat got hurt. So I don't want to hear that. That it came down, law of average. I will say these two things, and that goes into our do we trust Ben Johnson topic. Ben Johnson, hear me and hear me very good. We love you now. This fan base, don't introduce me to a vibe you can't maintain. If we sitting here first month, 6th week of the season, we 3-3, 2-4. Oh, you finna learn about Chicago fans. You finna learn about Bears fans. You are never bigger than the logo. Or as they say in soccer, you're never bigger than the badge. You're never bigger than that Bear logo, okay? That will always be number one, and you will feel the wrath. If we're going to have a mediocre to bad defense, this better be at the worst a top 10 offense, okay? If I'm going to lose a lot of high-scoring games, let me at least be entertained. Like, I have no questions about Caleb, like none. And I think that Colston's going to take it to another level. I think Luther's going to take. I have some questions about Rome. But maybe with no DJ here, there'll be, more of an emphasis for him to not to fuck it up because he's got to be the number one.
I wouldn't be shocked if we look at like week 8, week 9, and Luther Burden looks like the number one wide receiver.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me whatsoever. I don't have as much faith in Rome as I used to.
Luther Colston, and then Rome.
I think Colston's going to be I think we're going to see a real Brady, Gronk, Mahomes, Kelsey thing where the tight end is number one option. Yeah. And Luke can take his food. Let's not think he can't. So that's what I'm worried about there. And I just feel that, how I've said about window, especially in the NFL. I really think, not Ben Johnson, I think Ryan Poles overrates the window that he has. If we're talking, he keeps talking about money and we got to be smart. You got 12 months before you're going to have to give Caleb Williams the biggest contract in NFL history, just because that's how the market is. Every quarterback is the highest paid. That's just it. When Jalen Hurts got his money, it wasn't because Jalen Hurts is great. It's what the market tells you. So the market tells you that Caleb's going to get paid. And it's going to be the biggest contract that the Bears have ever thrown out and the biggest contract in NFL history. So how are you going to build the team then? And then all these young guys who we're building a young core. Yeah, they're all in the same contract, which means you don't have to pay them at the same time. So that's the issue I have. The only, saving grace I have here, the division got worse, in my opinion. I think the Vikings got marginally better. Like, they won 9 games last year. I think Kyler Murray gets you 1, maybe 2 more wins. Maybe. I'm not putting too much on Kyler Murray. Like, he's just great. This is actually more of a shout out to Kevin O'Connell than it is to Kyler Murray. Detroit got worse. Green Bay got worse. So that's the only, okay, this division is going to go down to the final week 9 times out of 10 anyway. But I'm going to say this as we go and talk thing. Do we trust Ben Johnson? Ryan Poles doesn't have enough credit in the bank for me. But Ben Johnson has enough credit in the bank for me to give him the benefit of the doubt. I will not complain, especially not going to complain here on Wednesday, April 29th. We got another month until OTA start. We got another, 3 months until training camp starts. I will not say anything, but hear me very clearly. If we are sitting here at the end of this season, not even end of season, halfway mark, and this is like a 500 team or barely a 500 team, you will hear my big mouth on this podcast and every other platform. I'm going to be like Boosie's daughter when he got out of jail. I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was lying, but I told y'all niggas. I don't like it. So my question is, do you trust Ben Johnson?
No. But I think people probably hear this because hopefully this is a clip that it becomes a clip. People are going to see it and say, "You fucking kidding me?" Led the Bears to the divisional, did all these things, won the division. Yes, yes, yes. I am not going to act like he is not a good coach or not a good play caller. He has done this on other teams and taken a Bears team that historically sucks offensively or is not diversified offensively and did great. He is a good coach. Do I trust him yet? No. And the reason I don't is because we simply have not seen more. And what I mean by that is we've seen him in that 1 year. In the 1 year is where you get a lot of false impressions. 1 year of a coach or a player can make you think that there's somebody that they're not. I think the biggest test is 3 years where you get to truly find out who a coach is and a player. A coach because a player because it's rookie year. They don't have a whole season of film on you. Same with the coach. We don't know your habits. What do you do when these things do? We know we saw you when you were a coach here, but what do you do when you're a coach now? You're a head coach now, not just a coordinator. For a player, someone like Caleb Williams, we saw that his rookie year was good. It's the best Bears rookie season ever, but it was just good, especially because you had people around him like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix who were playing better. And then the second year, he took what they had against him and then just dominated to another level. And you saw, okay, Caleb Williams actually is one of the best players in college football in the NFL. And on the flip side, we look at someone like Jaden Daniels. And though Jaden Daniels was injured, we say, okay, we got a few questions. Also, will his size help him? What do we have to do? But there are questions laid for him. But you still don't know the truth of either three until you see that third year. And with me right now with Ben Johnson, I don't trust him, but not because he did anything to like revoke my trust. I think he is a good coach. And I just want to see what he does with managing a team. He can do offense. I would never second guess that. But what do you do now when your focus has to be on managing the totality of the team? And it could be that this is just Ryan Poles doing what he wants. But it also seemed like with them picks, he was like, hell yeah. Like Sam Rawls, I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, if Cole Kmet gets less reps and Roush starts to take more of his reps because Sam Roush is a better yak receiver than he is and catches just as well. Cole Kmet can block, Roush blocks better. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts taking more reps. But obviously, yes, you have 13 personnel. 13 personnel, you can get 3 tight ends up in there. But do I need to go that early? And that's like to take somebody, that's the decision with Ben Johnson. So I go, I struggle with that. So right now, no, it's just 1 year. Let's see what he does next.
I actually agree with that 100%. Let's bring up the grading of the class. So you made a graphic yesterday. Tell me the grade you have given all these players.
Caleb threw 27 touchdowns. Jesus, I forgot. Sorry.
I thought he threw 28.
27. He had 30 total, but 27.
Okay.
Now, what were you saying?
So yeah, just let me know to go player by player and the grade that you gave these guys.
So Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. I gave him Thieneman. Sorry, Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. I gave them an A+ for the pick. I thought it was great. Second player is Logan Jones, center out of Iowa. I gave them a B+ for the pick. Struggles in pass protection here and there, but I think he has really good feet, really good technique. Next up was Sam Roush, which again, B+ because he is a good player, just not what they needed. The lowest one was Avion Thomas, just too early. He's fast as shit. And if utilized correctly, he could be like a Kevontae Turpin from the Cowboys. Kevontae Turpin is good in coverage in returning. Every now and then he's gonna burn a team for a big touchdown. Way too early. Didn't need to take him. So I gave him a C. Malik Muhammad is where we start to see it tick back up because I gave him A-. I was like, he is a good player. His production, the lack of like the stats to back it up is probably what made him drop a little bit more. For Keyshawn Elliott, I gave him a B-. And for I think I'm gonna give him a B. And then Jordan Vandenberg, I gave a B. So those are my overall impressions of it.
Yeah, my bad. I had to cough. I didn't want to cough on the microphone. Pause. Anyway, I like those grades. That's what I said about this draft with the players. I think from a player to player perspective, these are not bad players. I think that they can make an impact. I would feel a lot better about these players. This is gonna sound weird if we didn't make the playoffs last year. But because we made the playoffs, I have higher expectations. The only one I look at, only two I can see starting day one whenever these. By the way, I've been told today from a very reliable source, the NFL schedule drops on May 11th. Okay. And also from a very reliable source, I will get your hotels ready for Madrid, Spain. That's all I'm saying. Stay tuned. But whoever the Bears play week one, only two people I can see starting is Dylan Thieneman, unless he has a poor camp. I think he's going to be starting next to Kobe Bryant. And the good thing about both of these safeties, they're not like married to a position. Like one can play free, one can play strong, they can switch off, which I think makes it a real workable safety tandem. I think they're going to give Logan Jones a shot. Like, I'm pretty sure Bradbury will probably still be the starter, but I think it's going to be a competition during camp between those two, which I'm not mad at. So those are only two I can actually see starting day one. The others are cool. I find it very hard to get how I'm feeling about the situation in general without and try to give these kids credit at the same time. Like it's not like I'm like, oh, they're bad picks. No, I think they're solid picks. And I think the grades you gave them are good. I just don't feel good about it. So that goes me to the final question. This is a shorter pod than usual because it's not too much to talk about. In your opinion, are the Bears better than when they were on January 18th?
Yeah, that without question. Tremaine Edmonds is a ball hawk. Not really good in coverage. He ain't blitzing nothing. He ain't filling no gaps. Not happening. TJ Edwards, not like some overbearingly great linebacker, but he's solid all around. There are very few flaws in his game. Noah Sewell is a good backup, good rotational person. You have some time to fill it up now, and then you get Devin Bush comes in. I think Devin Bush is an instant upgrade. Secondary-wise, this is just completely better. Just a complete better because Kobe Bryant and Thieneman are better than Byard and Jaquan. That's, for me, that's subjective. Jalen, obviously it's Jalen. Malik Muhammad, I think, will end up being that a good player. I think he's going to start next to Jalen.
Well, Tyree definitely going to have his work cut out for him in the summer.
For sure. He's going to have a different, very, very difficult path to get ahead.
And then don't forget about Zah Frazier. He's going to be competing for that
right
position too.
And so I think he's going to really get that. But yeah, that would be like the peak that I'm thinking about. And sorry, my school. So I think about that. I think in totality. And then you got up, of course, you still got Kyler Gordon, best nickel in the game. You got to stay healthy, best nickel in the game. When healthy, he's the dog. And the fact that he was there for playoffs is part of the reason that they won, because having him there is a difference. Ryan Poles, interestingly, has this like belief that having great secondaries can fill in gaps for bad line. I disagree.
That is bullshit.
Unless you had all 99 players like Madden,
right.
If you had all 99 players in the secondary and linebacker core, well, yeah, theoretically.
You got Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Champ Bailey, Deion Sanders. Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Then, well, yeah, you'll be fine. And then, first of all, you got to toss in then either Ray Lewis or Urlacher. You know what I mean? You got to toss in the great off-ball linebackers. You do that, well, then, yeah, they'll be fine. Why? Because all of them are going to communicate intelligently, and there's going to be no spot to fill. Yes, and then eventually that's when a so-so D-line can get home. You don't have that here. But as of right now, I'm like, that's so-so. But looking at it, yeah, I think it's better. Offensive line-wise, the only deficit was losing Drew Dahlman. You can't overcome that. Drew Dahlman was a dog.
Yeah, that's a major blow, man. And we're seeing a lot of players retire. Who retired they from the Broncos?
I don't know.
You
may know better than me.
I know his name.
But so you're looking at that, and you're. I know you're not talking about Justin Simmons.
Yeah, I think he retired today. Let me see. Yeah, Justin Simmons retired today.
All pro too, bro. Oh,
Only 7 years in the league.
well, that's for someone like him who is all pro, and I mean he's what 31, 32 years old. He's been in this league for a while. Bear in mind he was all pro like 2 years ago.
No, I'm
Uh,
just saying that we're seeing people retire younger now. Is what I'm saying.
right. So I shouldn't be too shocked that, but with Drew Dalman it just hurt because I'm like, dog, you are a great player. You're not even 30. You're not
Yeah.
28. You're 27 years old. What the fuck is happening? He has played 5 years, and it hurts so bad because I was like, you were the long term solution. You were the long term solution. My students are
I felt
looking
like
at me.
that little Dirk video. I fell down to my knees when the law came. That was me when that ESPN alert happened.
So my students are trying to come in here, and I have to shake my head and tell them, no, I'm fuck they want. This is a C day. You can't come in here. Sorry. But yeah, so right, yeah, that's literally what that little Dirk, because it's like, bro, 27 years old, and good centers can play to 35.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
center who stays healthy can play to 35. My thought was you're going to be with us for the Caleb Williams MVP season.
This is his franchise center.
This is the prime. This is the prime, and to see that happen, just it broke my heart.
Yeah.
But that being said, Logan Jones, I think is a good player. Pass pro is a little struggle, but the thing is, if I had a player who I would say, all right, they're A and run, B minus, C plus in pass, or they're A in one thing, B minus, B minus, C plus in one thing. What would I rather have that for a center? I'll take the run. I'll take the run and the pass. Why? Because as a center, it's just a little bit different from being an outside offensive lineman, the two tackles. Because as a center, if a nigga get to you, you get blew up, you get bull rush. There is a possibility there that guard can chip on that player, can double team on that player, and help you out a bit. There's just a little bit more. And on top of that, it's not the edge, or the edge rusher theoretically has from the hash to the sideline to make a move to get to you. Obviously, they don't use all of that. Whereas a center, you can't use all of that. I mean, there's a nose tackle, 3 tech, you can't use all of those things. And so because of that, I am okay with having the run blocking be the best. I think he's a very good run blocker. So it sucks. It sucks to see that. But when I take that into account, that Darnell Wright is amongst the best tackles in the game now. I take into account the interior line is solid. Questions on the left side. Ozzie, see the fact that Ozzie was like, oh shit, Ozzie's a good left tackle. Ozzie can play. Horrible injury. I was like, bro, what are you doing? And now we got to go through the Braxton Jones, I forgot the dude's name.
The devil is a lie.
Got to go through that passage to see, because I don't think Ozzie will play this year.
No, it don't sound like he is.
I did check on TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is going to be ready for training camp. So he'll be ready. He's on track. But then I take into the fact that we're getting another year of Kyle Monangai, a dog, and I died laughing at the Swift. Swift heard them footsteps from Monangai and said, "Hell no, I'm a back." And he had the best year of his career. And then I take into account Colton Loveland's going to his next year, Luther Burden's going to his next year, Rome is there. Unfortunately, sometimes DJ Moore during the game, not him personally, but like he was like a sticking point for Caleb. Like Caleb would see him and then struggle to read down to everybody else. Now you're free. You don't have that prototypical, like this, not prototypical, but this person was signed.
Like I have to throw to. I feel like sometimes Caleb felt like he had to throw to DJ.
Right. Like when he got this touchdown, had 2 touchdowns, he's like, man, I was happy for him. About time he got it. I'm like, that's like a make-a-wish feeling. Like, we got him. Because he was the person signed for that. Now you don't have to deal with that. Now the field is wide open for you. And I think that's going to free up Caleb to do what he does best, which is get that ball to people. So when I take that into totality, and then you add in Sam Roush, because yes, you can run effective 13 personnel, because Smythe was not an effective help. He's a good blocker, but wasn't really effective in that pass game. You add those three tight ends in, I think you have a better team. But I would sacrifice, because I worked hard on this, to my mock draft of what would happen if the Bears could redo some of their picks. And here's what I would do. The no shocker is Steineman and Logan Jones. I'm going to keep them where they are. Shouldn't trust Bradbury enough to not have competition for that position.
Yeah.
So Logan Jones, Dylan Thieneman,
Thieneman.
Dylan Thieneman would stay where they are. Next pick would have been Danny Denise Sutton out of Penn State. I think he went later in round 3. I can't be 100% sure.
Yeah, when they draft the tight end, that's what.
No, I'm sorry. Like, not Danny. Danny would have been later. I would have gotten Romello Heights out of Texas Tech. I want to say he went after, I want to say almost very quickly after Sam Ross, maybe two picks afterwards. I'm going to get Romello because I think that is a very, very, very good value pick. He's big as shit. He's like 6'3", 250, and had some really solid seasons at USC, Georgia Tech, and I think Texas Tech. I think that would have been a good pick to get, and I think that would have turned out to be somebody who the Bears could work with. And I was looking at his draft profile, like on NFL. Like NFL is a good place to start for draft profiles. Okay, what are you looking for in here? Then watch the film. Watch who is my man? Chris Sims, even though I would disagree with him vehemently, but watch Dan Orlovsky and then watch it for yourself. And so I think Romello would have been a great pick to have. And if I could deal with not having Sam Ross if you got him. Moving on after that, I think the Bears had 89 for it. That pick would have probably been spent on another edge. If we're not doing another edge, it's probably would have been there. I think it's Capehart, Devontae Capehart. Capehart, I think he went to Clemson. And he's big, he's strong. I think that would have been a great pick at 89. Outside of that, I probably would have kept it the same. Malik Muhammad's getting drafted. Keyshawn Elliott, you need some rotation because you saw what happened when the Bears had like 2 linebackers towards the season. I'm picking him up, and Jordan Vandenberg is still my last second project for him. You take that out, I really think the Bears are and then some. Now there is an argument to be made that Austin Booker might.
I was about to say I like Austin Booker a lot. I don't look at him as some star pass rusher. I think his ceiling is a real good rotational pass rusher.
Right. My next argument was going to be, because it might have sounded like it was going to be positive, but I was like, now Austin Booker might, in the next sentence, was going to be ass.
that too. That's a high possibility as well.
Austin Booker is freak size, like 6'6", 250. And when all of his muscle memory and those skills come together, he can look downright great. I think, was it the Packers game he had 2 sacks? And then probably should have got a flag for hitting Jordan Love, but it don't matter. When he hit him, I was like, man, that's the potential you want to see in him, because he looked like he was imposing his will. And for a guy who ain't played that much football, same with Jordan Vandenberg, ain't played a lot of football, but they're both raw talents. That's what I like. Now, is it possible for him to have if he had 5 sacks last year, I think we're starting to see a good player. Not great, not even Pro Bowl, but a good player if he can get to 8.5. If he almost doubles that, gets to 8.5, I'm like, okay, he's not, then that means edge isn't an immediate need. It's still like if you find somebody, get him, but it's not immediate. Your attention is still going to be on that interior.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
Because let's just play in Ryan Poles' world real quick. What are your chances of expecting Grady Jarrett to have a bounce back year, Dio to have a real good year, Shamar Turner, and I'll give Shamar Turner this. He was looking decent before he got hurt. Shamar Turner plays well, and you can get something out of Gervon Dexter. What percentage are you putting on that happening? I got it at less than 40%. I'm putting it like 20. Because I just think Dexter is just not good. I'm not gonna call him a bum. I just don't think he's good.
No. I think Javon Dexter would be good as a rotational player. I think if you have 2 really good interior tackles, interior linemen, and he comes in to fill in for a play, I think it'd be fine. A nice quick burst, not even a burst, a nice blast of strength. I think he's fine. Grady Jarrett, maybe in the old days you were solid. Them days is over. So them being good, no. Shamar, I don't know. Again, he played what 9, 10 games last year.
Yeah,
Let me.
he got hurt in the I think he tore his ACL in the Ravens game. So it's like the eighth or ninth game.
Yeah, he played week 8. He played 7 games, and yeah, suffered a torn ACL.
It was against the
Um,
Ravens, right?
yeah, it was against the Ravens. But it seems like now, from what I'm reading, is that there is a. I mean, they signed some vets and everything, and they still got Daniel Hardy, who's just a backup special teamer. But they're putting a lot of emphasis on Shamar Turner. I think Poles literally said Dio, Sweat, Shamar. We feel good about those guys, So they're putting hopes on him to take that next step. I don't know. I don't know. Again, prototypical size. I thought in college he was good, solid as a freshman, but I think he only played like 5, 6 games. I think that next year as a sophomore was a little bit, he kind of was bad. Junior year is when he burst out with like 6 sacks. And then when he went to his senior year was solid. But I think his senior year actually was high. I think he had like 11 or 12 sacks. So he was a person that had to grow slowly. Like he wasn't that jump off the page. He had to play all 4 years. But when he finished that, I think he was a really solid player. There's a possibility he can be good. There's a possibility. He would be the only person that I actually think would have a possibility of being good. With the other two, and Booker included, I'm putting him on under 20%. With Shamar, I don't know if I'm drinking the Bears Kool-Aid, if I'm being a meathead, or if I actually see growth. But I look at who he was in college. I look at how the way scouts had him, and they were like, this is somebody who's going to become a starter. You just got to give him time. I'm putting Shamar, it's a coin flip. It is a coin flip that he is going to be a good player. Again, if he turns out good, options open up because I'm almost certain he rotated in at what you call it, at interior lineman a few times.
Yeah, he
Let me,
did.
I mean, in college specifically, I'm almost 100% sure he rotated. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him, but he's kind of the key.
So here's a final question because I've had this conversation with our homie Mikey.
Yeah.
My expectations prior to the offseason actually beginning was you were 15 yards away possibly from making the NFC Championship game. So to me, before the offseason started, it was NFC Championship game or bust. I no longer have those expectations because I'm not an idiot. My expectations now is just make the playoffs. And I'm mad to have to lower them. I just think this defensive plan is idiotic on so many levels. And I know I sound like the master of defense the last 2 days with not only complaining about the Bears, but also complaining about the defense I saw in that PSG Bayern match. Maybe I've been trained to like defense because I grew up watching those Urlacher Briggs teams. I just think in all sports, there needs to be a balance.
I want to give you credit. Yes, you grew up watching NFL, and then when you started to become a college football fan, albeit you're a distant fan because you're going to watch it and go, "What the fuck is this?" And I remember you would watch it and say, "The score is like 70-3. I don't want to see
terrible."
This." Because
like that game that everybody loved between the Rams and the Chiefs in 2018 was a 56-49. It's one of the worst football games I've ever seen in my life.
It was dog shit.
It's terrible. So I just feel I'll take a very competitive 30-27 over a 58-52 every week. So I'm just saying that, yeah, I don't think defense is as important as it once was in the NFL. But you got to have at least a top 12 unit to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We're not in the defense wins championship stage of the NFL,
which I always thought was a bullshit statement. Right. Defense wins championships when you can score points. You ain't got to be great. Maybe if you look in the history of sports, not just the NFL, like NFL, only terrible offensive teams I can think about. 2015 Broncos was shambolic because Peyton Manning was just dead. And Brock Osweiler was good one game, trash next. 2000 Ravens got awful. Outside of that, even look at NBA teams. Like I saw, so this is radio station in Detroit. They like looking at their Instagram whenever the Detroit team loses. They be keeping it real. And they was talking about the Pistons being down 3-1 to the Magic. And he was like, the main host was like, everybody in Detroit keeps talking about they like the Pistons because they're tough. He said 2004 was an anomaly. That's never happened to him, which is true. Remember the next years? They never won another championship. They made it to the finals the next year and lost to the Spurs. Why? Because Manu Ginobili was cooking them. Because it was offense. And he said, if you even want to look at the bad boys, they play defense, but guess what? That's a Hall of Fame backcourt with Zeke and Joe Dumars. So I don't like the defense. Defense wins championships when you can score points.
Yeah, I think the defense wins championships things is more of like a myth-making thing. Like where we have
100%.
Because back in the day, the face of the NFL was defensive players. And I mean, if we're looking like the old 50s and 60s, I mean, even the Bears, Sid Luckman was the Bears at one point, all-time passer in all these categories. But the face of the NFL when he was around were defensive players. Even up until, for so much of the Bears history, it was defensive players. If you look at
which is funny, the 85 Bears was the number 2 scoring team in the NFL, which is blows my mind.
Dogs on the run. I mean, dogs with the run game. But when you look at that entire team, I mean, every NFL team over the course of the history of the NFL, AFL, for a period up until maybe like the 80s, 90s, the faces of the NFL were defenders because that's where the talent was. And that's where the modernity and the diversity of the play was. Once we started to see the infiltration of the West Coast system, shotgun, all of those things, it immediately flipped back. To the 80s, the only thing, like if you think about the NFL teams in the 70s, you're going to start thinking of defenders. Up into the 80s, you're going to start thinking about like that Atlanta linebacking core, the 85 Bears, and then you start to remember, oh shit, Joe Montana, the Niners. 90s, Cowboys offense. Now you go early 2000s, you're going to think about a few defensive teams. But once you get out of that,
Ravens got awful.
What'd you say?
The Ravens offense. Trent Dilfer is the only Super Bowl winning quarterback to get cut immediately after winning the Super Bowl. Like terrible. Even if you look at a sport like baseball, you know the reason that the Dodgers came back and beat the Blue Jays wasn't because the offense was so great. It's because the bullpen was like, oh, let's get some balls these final games. That's why they won. Because they had defense that Kike Hernandez played. Defense. Save the damn season. That's just how I feel about sport in general. So with the Bears,
doesn't that kind of prove the other point that defense won?
No, but I'm saying like has to be a balance, is what I'm saying. But the reason they were down in the series is because they couldn't hit, and they also the bullpen was just allowing the Blue Jays to do whatever. So I don't think this should be one overwhelming the other. If you give me a balance, is what I think. And I just think this is skeptical. I don't know. I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, in today's NFL, it's interesting. During the late 2010s or the early to mid, whatever it was, 2010s in general, we saw an explosion of offense. Like it was to the point like they were convincing teams, you can get a running back you need in the 7th round. And running backs weren't getting chosen for shit. All offense. All the offense was just exploding. And then you realize, it ain't those teams that were winning. It was the teams that, yes, they prioritized offense, but they still had a solid defense amongst them, top 12 unit. The running backs were still solid and good. They're not some 7th round that you got off the street. Once that happened, because there's a time when we were having 6 5,000 yards passes. That should never happen in the NFL. It's disgusting football. I don't want to see 5,000 yard passes. One 5,000-yard pass is enough. The average for the NFL should be 36 to 43. The rest should be spent with running. And what happened with the NFL? It adjusted and went back to that. Now, picking a running back in the top 10, you ain't going to get like 4 or 5 like you used to. You'll get 1. But in the first round in general, you get maybe 2. That's what it should be. It should be that balance. And so, defense has never won championships on its own. It's been offense. The Bears, bottom unit last year, There are some additions secondary, but that defensive line is ass. But the Bears have to do what Chicago sports teams do in general, hinge on possibilities. Well, if Tim Anderson
I think that's a sports fan.
If Tim Anderson does what he did last year, he's going to go to the next level. He's going to win MVP. He's going to do all those things. Oh, and then you also have to look at when we got freaking who's the nigga who they just traded who stinks now? Luis Robert. He's the Dominican Mike Trout. He gonna take that next step. He gonna be great. Ass. Because
I told Mets fans that he was ass. I know a lot of it's
like the first 5 games he was batting like 380 or something with a couple of homers. They're like, hell yeah, we're like, all right, bro.
Then he realized he can't hit breaking balls.
Yeah, he is just nigga who can hit power. And because what happened? Possibility is not going to win. What are you going to do on the field, not paper? So right now, I can see right now for the Bears, I don't like what they did with the defensive line. Do I trust Ben Johnson? No. Do I trust Ryan Poles? Fuck no.
I'm glad you said you don't trust Ben Johnson because I've been scared to not say I don't trust Ben Johnson. But you know what? I'm with you. I don't.
Everybody. I just think we think we should trust this unproven coach. I just think we should trust his unproven coach after 1 year. Why? I will trust you when I can tell it. If we're coming to the second year and the Bears are the divisional conference championship again, Caleb is in all Pro Bowl bag, the defense looks solid, well then, yeah, I think he would earn my
Fun fact, the Bears have not made back-to-back playoffs in 20 years. Coors Light cold hard facts.
I will say I don't think anybody in the NFC North got better.
No,
I think the only team that got better was the Bears.
The Packers, only teams that got better were the teams who were good. I think the Rams got better. I think the Seahawks got a little better.
I think the Rams were out of their fucking minds. Hell no, they sucked. They lost their minds. You had plus.
I'm talking about the money they spent on the defense in free agency.
No, I think the Rams are going to be the same. They're not going to win just because they're there. I think my pick to win it is still going to be the Seahawks, and hope that the Eagles do something different. But yeah, NFC in general, I don't know. I think one of the only teams. I think the Raiders had a great offseason, great draft.
I think the NFL in general is a big question mark right now.
Right, but they're still not doing anything. I don't think anybody has really stood out again. The same way last year.
Right.
You think I would have picked the Sam Darnold Seahawks to win the Super Bowl? No. Because no one stuck out on paper, no one stuck out in play. With the Bears, though, I think if I look at the NFC North from last year, I think the Vikings got worse. I think the Packers got worse.
You think the Vikings got worse?
Yeah. What did they do that was great?
I mean, I think Kyler Murray is better than J.J. McCarthy.
He sucks ass too.
Look, I'm not a Kyler Murray guy. He's better than J.J. McCarthy. All I'm saying is they won 9 games with J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz. I think that makes them a game better. I think they can win 10 games.
They just fuck no. They can win 6. They went from
they'll be worse than last year.
They went from dog shit to ass. So it was an improvement. So I can't say that they didn't get better. Because if you go from a 55 to a 65 from a paper, you got better. You still suck. They suck. The Lions are the same. I think people have figured out the Lions.
I think the Lions got worse.
You know, once they lost Ben Johnson, I think they just became one-dimensional. And it was let's use all of our amazing athletic abilities to win. And it worked against the Bears. It don't work against anybody else. Anybody else is like, hell no, nigga, double him, send pressure on golf. He can't move, eliminate it. And that's how teams that beat the Lions. The Packers suck. I don't think the Packers did anything that makes me believe that they're going to be better. I think the Bears and the Lions will be in the run for the title.
And maybe this is a meathead take. I feel like we knocked a little steam off the Packers.
Yeah. They seem like a regular NFL team and not
like I don't get
non-Olympus and fucking
schedule scared anymore. Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, when you beat them on a comeback at your own field, last second touchdown, it feels good. Okay, we got some momentum. When you knocked them out the playoffs, it's like you ain't invincible.
You beat them 3 times in a calendar year.
Yeah. So I think what I think is what happens is going to be the same thing as last year. The Bears are going to split with the Packers. I think they're going to sweep the Vikings. They're going to sweep the Lions, which is going to be the shocker. But they'll split with the Packers just because these are 2 teams that are rivals and they always have done that. I think they'll win the NFC North again. But how do you get over the fact that the Seahawks defense is ridiculous, but they can score when they need to. How do you get over the fact that the Rams probably will have the best offense in the league again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were tripping because why the hell would you get Ty Simpson?
Because Sean McVay is a mercenary.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
They lost to Seattle.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Sean McVay ain't like the Ty Simpson pick. You see this press post.
Oh, it was a stupid pick because here's the thing. I get it. From the owner's standpoint, this nigga's about to leave in 2 years. You know, max.
It might be this year.
It might be this year. But Ty Simpson was the pick? I guess here's the other logic about it. We have a plus pick right now. It's 13, 14, 12?
Who?
The Rams. Where they pick?
I think it was 13.
They have 13. So you're almost literally in that plus value. I mean, like the best value possible player territory. You're right outside of it. Next year, you're not going to have that. You're going to be bottom to 25th on up. This is opportunity to get the QB of the future. He's right there. There's no super glaring holes for us. Get this now. From that perspective, I get it. It just would not have been Ty Simpson. You know what I mean? If I had to look on, like, what'd you say?
I said that's fair. I agree.
If I had to look up like QBs taken by in the 2006-26 NFL drafts, obviously Fernando Mendoza, he was consensus was going to happen. I'm not taking Ty Simpson because there's just nothing there for me to think that he's going to be great. The problem is next up is Carson Beck and Drew Aller. So I personally would have taken that number 13 pick and I would have sent it to a shitty team.
Yeah.
Who I know is going to be bad again next year, and I can get back in that top 15 space. And in that top 15 space, I think you have a better college QB class coming in. You got the Archman, you got the Julian Sayin of the Ohio State University. You got Dante Moore out of Oregon. You got Trinidad Chambers, who's in like his 12th season in the college and shouldn't be there anymore. You got a better college draft. I'm high on Dante Moore to be like the best in the draft. Julian Sayin, he's on my shit list until he does better because Big Dick Will Howard from the Ohio State University
relax.
Took off in the playoffs and was ridiculous. We won with him. That's beside the point. So when I look at that class, I think that's better. And if you trade that pick off, maybe you get yourself another interior lineman, another edge rusher. You take that and you keep that and you get in that top 15 expected for a team that's bad, you can get your quarterback this year. Why leverage all of that on Ty Simpson? I see that to be stupid. But I know we're going off track. But
points were made.
I was excited.
That is all we, huh?
I was excited to talk about that.
I can tell.
This nigga Ty Simpson started 1 year.
That's it.
What quarterback in the Bears history started 1 year and was ass?
I don't want to say that. I know it wasn't 1 year though, was it?
Mr. Bill.
Oh, I thought somebody else.
1 year. I don't trust college QBs who started 1 year.
1 year. I also don't trust college QBs from basketball schools. North Carolina, Duke.
Well, I mean, Drake May went to North Carolina.
He did. But y'all know how I feel about Drake May. I'm not the biggest Drake May fan.
A conversation will be had. If he does the same thing this year, he's a great in-system regular season QB, and then the playoffs come and he's dog shit, conversations will be had.
Yeah. So that is all we got for y'all today. Because
it was a long pod.
It was a long pod. Good pod. I have to watch my soccer team kick their ball in their own half for 90 minutes. Next coming up, I think
we're playing, right?
Huh?
It's not Sporting that we're playing?
No, we're playing Atletico Madrid.
Right. What you think the score is gonna be?
I saw that lineup. And I just get to the Emirates with a draw. That bullshit lineup that Mikel keep putting out. I don't know how many times he got to see Martinelli, Yacarez, and Madueke fumble the ball for him to stop starting them at the same time. It seems like he's trying to save Saka and Eze for Fulham on Saturday, which is stupid to me. But whatever. This is not a soccer podcast. If you want to hear me rant about that, listen to Soccer for Dummies. So anyway, follow me at Barberchair Scott. Follow him at Flows Annalini. Follow 79th and Halas. And we will holler at y'all next time, man. We are out of here.
Yeah.
Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we been loyal way back from the beginning. I trusted source for the news. 79th Halas, what it is, what it do. Since Bobby Ingram, Curtis Ennis, know that we been loyal even when we wasn't winning. A trusted source for the news. 79th Halas in your ears, you.
Awesome. The Bears.